3, 2, 1.
The College of Arts and Sciences presents Thinkers, Tinkers, and Talkers.
Something like, alright, watch your levels. Watch your levels.
This podcast is a chance to get to know the faculty behind the scenes, who they are, projects they are working on, or interesting tidbits about their field of study here at Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Like, does this line sound right, or does it sound weird?
This podcast is for the faculty of NSU, students, and others who may be interested in the topics we discuss. I'm your host, Fallon Lincoln, joined by our producer, Grace Jensen.
That was a good one.
Thank you. Yeah, it kind of stings. In each episode, we will share with you tips and secrets from the faculty and staff here at NSU. We invite our listeners to get to know what's going on with the College of Arts and Sciences and get to know us beyond the classroom. So what are we doing?
Podcasting!
This is Thinkers, Tinkers, and Talkers.
Hello. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Thinkers, Tinkers, and Talkers. I'm your host, Grace Jensen. New voice. Wow. If you listen to Season 1, you know that I am not Fallon Lincoln. She is in Lake Charles doing her teaching residency, so I have taken upon myself the helm of hosting and producing and editing, with the help of Dr. Nick Taylor and Una as well. Couldn't do it without them. So thank both of you incredibly so much. So Thinkers, Tinkers, and Talkers is a podcast which is part of the CREATE program. And you may be asking, Grace, what the heck is the CREATE program? The CREATE program is the Center for Research, Education, and Artistic Teamwork Exploration. And that is under the College of Arts and Sciences, which is my college, because I'm a communications major. Last semester, Fallon talked with Dr. Francine Lemoyne, who is the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences and is also a professor of biology. Fallon also talked with Dr. Rebecca Majeski, who is the Argus faculty advisor, coordinator of the creative writing programs in the English department. And Dr. Majeski is also a very talented poet. And so they talked about poetry and Dr. Majeski's kind of creative process and how she goes about writing her poems. And they kind of talked about the relationship between poetry and kind of Shakespeare. And so they kind of touched on how Shakespeare and modern rap, specifically an example that they gave was Tupac. That was actually an assignment when I was in high school. In my high school drama class one year, we did an assignment where we had lines of poetry and we had to figure out if it was from a Shakespearean sonnet or from like a Shakespeare play, or if it was a Tupac line from one of his songs. Fallon also talked to Dr. Frank Serio, who is a professor of mathematics, and in their episode they kind of talked about the history of math, because Dr. Serio teaches a history of mathematics course. And so they also just talked about kind of just math history in general, and kind of the dramas, the gossip within the math world, which was actually really interesting, coming from someone who is not a math person. I'm an English and social studies person through and through to my core. And then lastly, last season, Fallon talked to Dr. Jasmine Wise. Dr. Wise is the coordinator of Black Studies, and she is a coordinator for the Center for Inclusion and Diversity. They talked about Black pop culture and its influences on Western culture as a whole and different cultures all around the world. So this season's episodes are going to look a little bit different. Instead of it being focusing on a specific topic within the professor's academic discipline, it'll be more so just a general basic conversation. The goal is to find more about who the person behind the name is and not just who the professor is. And so with that, there are 5 questions that I'm going to be asking in every episode. So they're going to be very familiar to you. I'm going to tell you them right now, and I'm going to go ahead and answer them myself. And I also took the time to talk with the 4 professors that Fallon talked with last semester to get their responses to these too. So I'm going to include a little couple clips of what they said as well. So the questions are as follows. There's 5 of them. What is something that you always have on your person? For me, I've always got Tiger Balm. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like, it reminds me of Vicks Vapor Rub, but like more concentrated. because I powerlifted in high school, so I have bad knees. Second question is, what is your favorite food? I can't give you an honest answer for this one because I never have an absolute favorite food. It's always changing. Always. Third question is, what is your favorite movie / book / TV show? For me, I have a top 5 favorite movies. I can't rank them individually, so I'm not gonna. My favorite book, however, is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. That is a retelling of the story of Achilles and Patroclus. And then my favorite TV show is probably Avatar: The Last Airbender. The fourth question, which is my personal favorite because it's really thought-provoking. It makes you really think back on your life choices. The question is, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt? And for me, I'm a senior communications major, so I graduate in May. It is now September as of when I'm recording this. So I graduate in a little less than a year, which is really insane to think about. And I was a biology major whenever I started here as a freshman. I have no idea what other profession I would like to attempt other than my own as a journalist and as an editor and creator of things. Mainly because my profession hasn't even started. You know, my career hasn't even started at this point. I mean, technically it has, but, you know, I'm not getting into the whole nitty-gritty of being a fully fledged adult. I'm like 75% adult right now as a almost 22-year-old still in college. Anyways, and lastly, this was another one of my favorite questions. It's, what is your favorite word? I don't know if I have a favorite word, actually. I know everybody usually has their favorite, like, swear word, you know? I'm not going to share mine because I don't want to get in trouble. One of my favorite words would probably be anathema, which, according to Oxford, means something or someone that one vehemently dislikes. I also really like the word vehemently. I just like words that are fun to say, you know? So, like, anathema, it's fun to say. Vehemently, that's fun to say. Soliloquy, that's fun to say. I just like really silly, fun to say words. So that would probably be my... See, again, I don't really have a favorite word. I just like words that are kind of silly and fun to say. So now, since you know my answers, I'm going to give you some answers from Dr. Lemoyne, Dr. Majeski, Dr. Serio, and Dr. Wise. And lastly, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word. Wow, that's a pretty difficult one. I think I would have to say that it would have to have something to do with science, obviously. So I think that my favorite word in science would be splice. And that's because in the world of science, it means two completely opposite things at the same time.
What is something you always have on your person?
Always have on my person. I always have these little, you can't see them because it's radio, but these little pocket stones, like rubby stones. One's got texture, one's got smooth.
What profession, other than your own, would you like to attempt?
I'm not sure that at this point in my life I'm ready to attempt any other profession, but I think if I had to go back and look at my life and make a different decision, I almost got a degree in computer science instead of math, and I think I would have enjoyed working in computer programming.
What is your favorite movie or book or TV show? You can pick one or do all of them.
My favorite book is probably The Phantom Toll Booth. I read it in 6th grade. I've actually only read it once, which I know is weird, but like I loved that book. I don't really watch TV, but if I had to like pick a show that I could like binge over and over, it'd probably be A Different World. And movie, probably Sister Act 2.
So now that you've heard the answers from those 4 professors to the 5 questions that I will be asking every professor that I'm talking to this semester, I want to touch more on the whole person, not the professor aspect of this season. And with that, along with those 5 questions, there's going to be another like 3 questions-ish that I'm going to ask every episode to just kind of have like a sort of consistency kind of thing. it's going to be more of a conversation with these professors and less, like I mentioned, asking questions relating to their academic disciplines, but more so kind of like what they do in their free time, like the hobbies that the professors that I'm going to be talking to like to do, and stuff like that. Every episode of this season of Thinkers, Tinkers, and Talkers will be coming out every 20th. So this episode came out on September 20th. So the next episode is going to be coming out October 20th. So it'll be available on the Create Spotify and YouTube account. So they are more accessible than just being on the Create website, which they will also be there. And that is www.nsula.edu/COAS for College of Arts and Sciences /create. Or if you just go on the College of Arts and Sciences website, there should be a tab that says Create, and it'll be everything there neatly organized for you. But I'm really excited to start the Spotify and YouTube account because I want this podcast to be available on as many platforms as possible. Because for me, most of the time, I'm listening to podcasts in my hour-long drive to and from Shreveport, which is where I'm from, because I go home quite often. And so sometimes I like to listen to a podcast because usually episodes are about an hour long. I can't promise that's how long these episodes are going to be. It really just depends. Last season's episodes were all about an hour long. It just depends on how much I can yap for. So there's that. But yeah, they'll be on the Create Spotify, the Create YouTube, which will just be NSULA Create, and then the Create website as aforementioned. Once again, my name is Grace Jensen. This has been Season 2, Episode 1 of Thinkers, Tinkers, and Talkers. And I will catch you guys on October 20th. Bye-bye.